Hi everyone, Cuberto Agency is in the house again. In addition to awesome masterclasses, our knowledge bank is savvy with all things mobile and web. Everything we teach about creating effects comes either from our experience working on our own projects or from our personal quest for perfecting our skills. You can check out the full list of topics on our site, cuberto.com/tutorials, under DevSource. Today, we're going to talk about an intriguing case that's all about posting on social media. The interaction is what's key here, since the user flow involves taking specific actions with one hand. I'll demonstrate the entire process of developing an interface like that, and best of all, I'll show you how to make an engaging animation in After Effects. Let me just add that it's not a fake animation, and it was developed by our developers. As always, everyone is concerned about how the poor developers will be coding. Let's open up Figma and select the design file. Before we begin, I'm looking in Figma Community for some sort of iOS kit that will have all the standard iOS elements. We can copy any screen into the project. I just need a status bar and home bar here since it's the standard iOS element that you see on all screens. I'll build all the other elements from scratch. We'll get the ball rolling with the trending screen prototype, which displays a banner with a slider and lists of the moment tags. The case I want to show has 4 screens. With the aid of the prototype, we create a user experience that lets the user see the after effect of their actions. When making large applications, your attention should be dedicated to the UX stage, instead of overloading the client with visuals or, in techno speak, the user interface design. Let's be real. Watching the prototyping process during masterclasses isn't exactly riveting, so I'm showing this stage for the general purpose of understanding how the app development process works. Above, I sketched out the screen header, the search window, the banner, and the slider. Now I'm adding the popular tags, which will also have a preview of the trending posts associated with those tags. Moving on to the second screen, we're duplicating the trending screen. This will be the post creation screen, where you land when you tap the plus icon in the tab bar. This action will be accompanied by an interesting motion. The rectangle will display the last picture from your photo stream by default. Below, we'll see all the other pics displayed, with the option to sort them. I'm adding the next button below, and for now, it's just a black rectangle. Let's make the next screen, where you can add a comment to your post and make adjustments. I'm drawing the Post button below. When we tap the Post button, we return to the trending screen where a temporary pop-up will display the post status. If everything is kosher, the pop-up disappears, and the new post will show in your feed. If there's a system error, the app will let us know, but that's not part of our current case. I highlight all the elements and change the font to Gilroy. Now I'm going to work on each component individually, focusing on form, color, and style. The tab bar icons are coming from my super awesome project package. I really enjoy drawing icons like these, and you can float over to our other masterclasses to see how I do it. I remake the tab bar completely. I'm on the hunt for the perfect 3D illustration for the banner. 3D is always fire, and our illustrators actively work with Blender. I input illustration into the community search, and we get a sweet pack for free right away. I place the illustration onto my layout and make a few color adjustments. To maintain style consistency, let's add the appropriate pictures to the post preview from our portfolio. As we return to the tab bar, our task is to integrate in an inventive way the main functional element, creating a post. This button will have a liquid effect, and to avoid accidentally swiping up and closing the app, the effect will work even with a tap, as shown in the test run. Let's change the button on all the other screens to match the one I just made. The entire flow will now have a single and coherent, intuitive action. All the other post adding screens will be in dark colors. I pick up one more illustration and add it under New Post. Gorgeous. As designers, it's not our thing to show mediocre images in our layouts. Let the devs be blown away when they work with the real data. Obviously, I'm joking. In apps like this, it's critical to keep in mind that the content will vary considerably. If it's a project for a client, sometimes you have to just grit your teeth and add those mediocre pics to get a full feel for design. The third screen gets the same style treatment. 5 seconds and the screen is all set. Let's spice up the text with some micro elements, like emojis. It adds zero functional load, but it really goes with the style. I copy the emojis from emojipedia.com. You can copy emojis there with excellent resolution, whether you want font symbols or images. The emoji really made a difference. I'm digging it. Let's cover up the status bar and home bar so they don't ruin the presentation. Keep in mind, though, that when you're working on the real deal, you can't neglect these elements. Otherwise, all the margins fly out the window and developers have no idea where the content begins and which margins they're supposed to work with. Now we're on the last screen, where I add a pop-up about the post uploading status. The design is complete. I'm going to transfer the entire design to After Effects. Since the plus button has the primary animation, the other interface elements don't need to be transferred in layers. I cover the plus button layers and export the first screen in 3x resolution. I drag the image into After Effects and click New Comp from Selection. Now we highlight the plus icon in Figma and move it to After Effects with the AEUX plugin. I'll draw a curved teardrop shape from scratch in After Effects itself. Now let's choose Convert to Bezier Path for the selected shape and add position and path keyframes. With the position keyframe, I shift the shape up. I complete the teardrop shape so that it matches the earlier design. Visualizing how everything is supposed to work together and the physical properties of liquid effect, I continue to manipulate the shape's form. First, I add a keyframe to stretch the shape. Then it returns and sags down. The shape makes one last movement and transforms into a straight line. I'm adjusting the timing and adding easing. Since we want the plus icon to follow the shape, I add position and opacity keyframes to it. The idea is that the icon and the shape go up a little bit and then vanish. While the animation plays, the next screen will begin to appear. I export it from Figma in 3x as well. I'm dragging the file to After Effects and adding it to the timeline. Now I add a to-PNG link to the liquid animation layer, so it repeats the animation of that layer. The first transition in the current flow is finished. Moving on to the next one, let's copy the layer with the shape. To make the shape appear from beneath the screen, I'm adding one more keyframe. I need to show the developers that there will be a pause after the first action. I copy the keyframes and place them a bit to the right. The distance between these keyframes is the pause. According to our design, there should be a next button here instead of a plus sign. I grab it from Figma. I repeat the same steps we took for the plus icon. Let's increase the width of the teardrop shape so that the word next has a little more negative space. I export the third screen from Figma and link it to the shape. Now I'm just repeating the same steps I took before. Posts will be published on this screen before returning to the first screen. I export and animate the appearance of the tab bars separately. Now I'm transferring the post publication status block from Figma to After Effects. Here's the main idea. The user publishes the post, returns to the trending screen, and sees the block at the top with text that reads "Posting." If the upload went well, then the text changes to "Done." The main animation is all set, and even looped. Now we can spend some time on the little things, like making an animation for disappearing screens. Let's get this animation ready for presentation and create a new composition based on this one. I'll change the composition size to 1080 by 1080. That's the Instagram format. I reduce everything to 1x. Now I'll make a rectangle with rounded corners and apply mask to it. Anything that doesn't fit into the rectangle automatically gets clipped. I attach the mask link to the animation layer so that if we need to move the animation layer in the future, the mask will move with it. Now let's add a background, and it's good to go. We can publish it. Stay creative and see you next time.